Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico from the Creativity Cave, and I'm so excited to share some super simple and really awesome cards featuring some new things from the Stampin' Up! Catalog. I'm going to start with the Artistically inked bundle. This is such a gorgeous bundle. It's featured on the cover of our catalog. It's so beautiful. It's got a whole suite of coordinating products that are just to die for. I mean, look at these gorgeous colors. It's so much fun to work with. So I want to show you a couple of really simple projects that I created with this bundle. So I'm going to start with our in colors, and I love our new in colors. They're really bright and fun. I'm going to put a little paper to protect my work surface here. I'm starting with Evening Evergreen. This is the darkest of those new in colors. We'll give our card a good burnish. And then what I'm going to do is I have a layer of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to take that ink design from the stamp set, just this little border image, and I'm just going to stamp that down the edge of my card with the Evening Evergreen ink. So I'll just ink that up, and I'm going to just stamp it down the edge, and look at how cool that comes out. It's so awesome. Now I overlapped just a little bit right there, and look at how beautiful that is. Just a very simple border of ink. Now, the other thing I like about this stamp set is there's several sentiments that come with it. So you've got thanks, happy birthday, best wishes, and hello. I'm going to take that thanks and stamp that on here as well. And it's just so beautiful. Isn't that just stunning? Okay, now I'm going to take this image or this piece and adhere it to a slightly larger piece. This one is 3 3/4 by 5. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I'll just use a little bit of seal to do that. And this just adds another layer to your card to make it just a little fancier, you know? That extra layer just is kind of a nice touch. I'll then take and pop this up onto my card with some dimensionals, and then we'll adhere it to our card base. You can also take and add a layer of white for the inside of your card, because this is a pretty dark color as far as writing is concerned. So I can take and just put a little bit more of that ink pattern on here. So I'll just do a little bit at the bottom of my card as well. And then we'll just adhere this to the inside. And how gorgeous is this? So really, really simple. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was also show you how well, first of all, actually, let me back up. I wanted to show you this card in the other in colors this year. So we've got Evening Evergreen. I've got Soft Succulent. I've got Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink, and Pale Papaya. So all of the in colors in this simple card layout. I just switched up some sentiments between them. So really simple stamping. Now I wanted to take this idea and just step it up one teeny little bit, and it's not much, but it's just one little bit. So we're going to start with the same basic layout and the same pieces, but I'm going to switch colors just, you know, to mix things up a little bit. So let me clean my stamp off really good. And then we're going to do the same thing in Fresh Freesia, but we're going to step it up, like I said, just a little bit. So I'll grab my Fresh Freesia ink pad, and you just want to make sure your stamp is clean, especially after that dark Evening Evergreen color. We'll do the same thing we've been doing all along, which is to just stamp that beautiful border going down the side of our card. And I just love how the stamp has the darker and lighter areas built into the rubber, which is a really cool texture. We call that a distinctive stamp set. We'll add our sentiment as we did before. And then what I'm going to do is I've die cut this beautiful leaf image from the bundle. So there's dies that coordinate with this set. They're very beautiful. And so I just die cut this large leaf image, and I'm going to adhere it to my card to just take it one step further. Now to do that with this kind of large intricate die, I'm going to use my handy dandy silicone trick. So I've got my silicone craft mat, a little bit of liquid glue, and a sponge that I've just attached to a little binder clip. And what I'm going to do with this is just put some adhesive kind of along the spine of that branch of leaves. And that way I can adhere it to my card. Like so. So just a real nice touch. But what I love about it is that some of the leaves still kind of stick up a little bit. They're not all stuck down all the way. It's just along that spine. So that gives my card a little bit of dimension. And isn't that beautiful? So let's finish this up as we did before with the other cards. We'll layer it onto that extra layer because, oh, that just looks so nice. And you could even die cut this out of the center of this panel. And then layer them together because you wouldn't see that. And then we'll pop this up onto our card. So beautiful. I just have really ever so quickly fallen in love with the suite. I kind of knew I would because the colors in that paper are so gorgeous. And the paper is really stunning. I highly recommend it. I will list the supplies, including both the whole suite and then the things I actually use, because I didn't use all of the things in the suite on my card, but they are definitely worth getting. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to show you one other card featuring some other really awesome products from the catalog. This card I created from this new Watercolor Shapes stamp set. And you might look at this and think it doesn't look like much, but oh, there's so much that can be done with this. This is the first card I've made with this set, but I'm really looking forward to playing with this a lot more coming up. I think this is going to be kind of a staple in your stamp collection that you can use and interchange with lots of other things. And then I'm also pairing it with the Sunny Sentiments. I've just been itching to use this sentiment on a card as well as this one for the inside of my card. And so let me show you how I put this card together. Okay, I had to clean up my space a little bit. So to create this card, I'm going to take a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 inches, so a half the long way, a piece of cardstock, and I will give this a score in a couple of places with my scoring blade. So I'm going to score it at 5 1/2 inches, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 inches. And I just cut it. Well, good thing there's another piece of cardstock. So let's try that again. I left that in just so you know. So I'm going to score at 5 1/2 inches and 4 1/4 inches. Okay. Now I'll fold my card on the score line, give it a good burnish, and then I also have this second score line, and I'll kind of fold back on that, and my card will open like this. Okay, so I'm actually going to adhere this to the inside of my card, like so. All right, then what I want to do is I've cut a piece of the Brights DSP to a 1 by 4 inch piece, and I'm just going to adhere that to my card like so. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside for right now and do my stamping. I've got a 4-inch square of cardstock, and I'm going to take these 2 ovals and create a kind of a sort of a sunshiny shape with those, with the colors, and the yellow colors is what I'm trying to say. And it's really quite simple. I know there is a way you can do this with your Big Shot, or I'm sorry, your Stamparatus, but honestly, this is so easy. And so let me just show you how I did this. I'm going to start way up at the top and right in the center and stamp my first oval. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the exact same oval right below, and I'm going to overlap it just a tiny little bit. Like you can see, that's maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe not even. Okay, then I'm going to turn this on its side and do exactly the same thing, going real close to the edge. Okay, it's going to overlap again. And same thing here. So I'm just doing everything perpendicular to one another. I'm going to continue that process, going in between here and here. And once again. And I feel like I have created a stamping spirograph. I just love the look of this. It's so cool. Okay, so that was all in Daffodil Delight ink, and you could leave it as this. I think this is gorgeous. But I thought I would take it up a notch and use the skinny oval with another color. So I'm going to use Melon Melody, which is just kind of a little bit darker color. You could also use pumpkin pie, whatever floats your boat, or even a lighter color like So Saffron. So I'm going to stamp that in between. Again, the center is going to be about the same spot. And I'm going to continue doing opposites of one another. When you do them, opposites, I find that you get really even results. So you can see I'm doing that again, moving it perpendicular and then going opposites. Okay, and so I'm just going to fill in the rest of the areas. And as long as you're kind of just barely overlapping those center points, it's going to come out amazing. Okay, and I just feel it's a little easier to do it this way than it is to set up my Stamparatus. Now just think of all the different colors you could create with this layout and these shapes. I think it's really fun to play with. Okay, so let's take, and actually I'm going to leave this open because we're going to use that in a second, but let's take and put this together a little bit. Oh, actually, I know what I want to do. I forgot to cut one of my pieces, so let's do that. I've got a 4x4 inch piece that I need for the inside of my card. So I'll just trim this. This is a 4x5 1/4. I'm just going to trim it to 4 inches so it'll fit inside my card. We do want to cut that one. And then I thought I'd kind of carry the design through. So I will take my large oval and stamp it in the corner here. And I'm going to go over off the edge a little bit, but that's okay. I'll stamp that one there and that one there. And then likewise, we're going to put our small oval in between like so. And that just carries the pattern to the inside of our card. And since I got ink on my surface, I'm going to grab my trusty wet wipes to clean it off so I don't get ink on anything I don't want it on. All right, so isn't that pretty? Okay, now on these two pieces, I want to add my sentiments. And I'm going to use the Sunny Sentiments stamp set, which I just love. There's a little bit of everything in here, but the words are kind of just fun and different. So I think it's a great stamp set. Now for this, I will use some StazOn ink, and the reason is we've kind of built up a lot of ink over here. I want to make sure that when what I stamp on top, it doesn't bleed. I want to make sure it remains a nice crisp image. Likewise, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I stamped it at the very bottom. So I'll do that in StazOn as well. So I'll start with the inside of my card because I'm just trying to bide a little bit more time for everything to dry. Okay, and this just fits on our 4-inch panel, but it says, I know we've been out of touch, but I think about you more often than you know. I think that's nice. Okay, so we'll stamp, or we'll adhere that to the inside of our card. And this is just a little bit of a fun fold, kind of just a little, change things up a little bit. So I love that. Then on the outside of our card, we're going to attach this panel to a piece of Mango Melody. So I've got a 4-inch square and a 4 1/8 inch square. And then what I'll do is stamp my other sentiment over the top of this, again in the black Stays On ink. Okay, and just right in the center. And there we go. Oh, that looks so awesome, doesn't it? Thought you could use some sunny thoughts today, and who wouldn't like to receive a card like that in the mail? Okay, let's finish up our card. I will attach this to the outside, and then we're going to embellish just a bit. Okay, so we've got that on there. Looks awesome. I've got some of my adhesive backed sequins, Artistry Blooms adhesive back sequins. So I thought those would be really fun to add just a little bit of shine to our card. Pardon me, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and just add a couple of these to my card. So I'll do a small one up there, down there, and another one up here. So that just adds a little shimmer. And then what really is going to pull all of this together is this is our new Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So I'm going to pull out the black and put a little bit of that on here. And I love some black Baker's Twine. I think that makes projects really stand out and adds a nice punch to a card, especially like this, because it's, you know, light with the yellows, and then you put that black bow on there, and that really just makes everything kind of pop out. So a really simple card. And of course, this is again something you could do in so many different colors, and I think it would just brighten anybody's day no matter what, especially with the sentiment. Okay, so I'll just pop that on there like so. And then a little trick for you is hold this down tight and then use your other thumbnail to kind of curl the ribbon. Just like Christmas ribbon. I guess that didn't do a ton, but sometimes you get a nice little curl with it. So anyway, one more thing we could do is take a little bit of Clear Wink Estella and just put a little of that on here. There we go. And that adds just a little touch of shimmer to our card, which is nice. I don't know if the camera catches that, but it's really fun. All right, so let me show you again. We've made our bright, sunny, happy card. We made a set of cards featuring the Artistically inked bundle in all the new in colors, and that's a lot of cards for just one video. If you would like to purchase any of the supplies that I used, I'd be so grateful for your business. I've linked them all in the description of this video. And when you shop my online store, you can become a VIP Rewards member, and I've got all kinds of great perks for doing that. If you could also give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel over here, that would also be fabulous. Thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.